Ah, what's up, everybody, and welcome to my Monday Night Raw review, pretty much the final Raw review before Survivor Series this Sunday. And once again, Raw usually just loves to make itself look stupid than usual, especially in Buffalo, New York. They were at, and the entire, pretty much everyone who was representing Raw this Monday was on top of the stage as Stephanie and Mick Foley were up there talking about how Daniel Bryan and Shane would be here tonight, and pretty much talked about everybody on stage, which from Enzo and Cass, which she did a very horrible dance, little foot thing. Well, Foley did, and then I mentioned the New Day, pretty much talked about them trying to dance, but pretty much talking from the Raw team, from the women's team, the tag team, Kendrick and Sami Zayn, which were all representing Raw this Monday, and talked about who's better this year. You have to prove yourselves, like better than AJ Styles and Roman Reigns and Seth, and talk about Zayn taking the Intercontinental Championship and everything. But pretty much they started making matches as they told Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns to be going against Sheamus and Cesaro, and talk about the women in a tag match tonight. Sasha and Charlotte versus Alicia Fox and Nia Jax. The New Day versus Strowman, Jericho, and Seth Rollins. So it was a lot of matches they had planned for tonight, which this segment, I guess, kind of went a bit long, but Stephanie was just kind of hard to watch through this whole thing. And I don't even know why they need a State of the Union debate, which is just retarded to me. But Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns went against Sheamus and Cesaro, which they pretty much show a full Roman Reigns entrance, but not barely show any of Kevin Owens. And they focus it on Roman Reigns looking so tall at the time and better than him that he's pretty much better than. They pretty much make him look better than Kevin Owens, who is the brand champion. So they just try to make him look better all the time. Roman Reigns. I remember they gotta make Roman look strong, so they try to block Kevin Owens out and just have Roman Owens up his championship, but we'll get into that later. Pretty much Owens and Reigns won, but Reigns pretty much, after he took out Sheamus, he pretty much had a Superman punch on Owens, which pretty much he had to drag him on top of Sheamus to get the pin after Reigns speared Sheamus. If I messed that up, he speared him to the ground. So, I don't know, the match was okay, and I guess it gets the champions out there, but pretty much making Roman look strong, taking out people as usual they try to do. Chris Jericho had gifts for Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman, as he gave them the gift of Jericho, or the scarf of Jericho. Try it on, man. Love that. And as he gave them scarves, Jericho pretty much, well, Seth Rollins says, I don't want something that's rated out of Lady Gaga's closet. And Jericho said these scarves are $750, and Strowman said, I want your scarf. And he gave it to him, and pretty much Strowman took the scarf and broke it. He said, I don't like scarves and I don't like you. And Jericho was like, okay, whatever. But it was funny, especially with Jericho. Mostly the most entertaining thing on Raw. Sami Zayn went against Bo Dallas. Sami Zayn beat him. Pretty much a glorified squash match, which they at least gave him some mic time. Talk about him facing Dolph Ziggler this Sunday for the Intercontinental title, and say he's gonna beat the guy who looks like he's in a Poison tribute pretty much, or whatever glam rock thing, or he's gonna be going against Miz, the community theater wannabe actor and stuff. So Sami Zayn got his mic time and really going against Dolph Ziggler this Sunday. Even though he's trying to make fun of his tires, saying he looks like a glam rocker, even though some say Sami Zayn looks like a paper boy or a cab driver. And I know Sami Zayn's been getting a lot of heat since I don't know, people are really whipping that guy since the election, but I'll keep my thoughts to that on myself. I'll probably get to that another day, but they've really been whipping him off of it. A very bad cruiserweight segment was in the back, where everyone's standing around talking to each other, faces and heels. Brian Kendrick stood up and talked about he was representing Raw this Sunday. But Perkins says, you owe me a rematch, Brian, and are you going to lay down this time? You're going to do it right. Perkins has just been horrible on the mic. I've really gotten tired of him. He's just, I don't know, some say he needs to go back to TNA, put that suicide mask back on, because it's just, nothing has really been going for him ever since he came to the main roster. Gnome Dog pretty much, they don't believe anything that coming out of Kendrick's mouth, and we should get him. And Sin Cara said that Kalisto, she is a better champion than you. You only want to save yourself. Kalisto, Sin Cara, which I'm surprised even still here now at this point. They've been on that guy, which now he is in trouble. So after that fight with Jericho last week, they made him pretty much drive 6 hours to Buffalo instead of catching the flight with everybody. But it was a very awful segment. Some people think it's like the X Division in a way, that all the faces and heels all hang together, even though they're supposed to be against each other. But they all hang out together. And they have Spot Fest every week. So I don't know if they will go to SmackDown this Sunday or whenever this 205 live thing, because this whole Cruiserweight division thing has been a failure on Raw. It's the same shit every week. I feel like Rich Swann gets more wins out of anybody on here. It looks like no one has gotten over. Kendrick is over. TJ Perkins has been horrible. And it's just like they all just stand around, and half the people they promised on here are not even there. So it's just retarded in a way. The New Day talked about their survival kit and stuff with merchandise. And they went against Rollins, Strowman, and Chris Jericho, which they pretty much showcased, you know, Braun Strowman taking out everybody, especially Big E, a big guy right there himself. And pretty much after they won and got the power slam with Strowman, pretty much Jericho said he was the captain now, but Seth Rollins pretty much pedigreed him in the ring. Foley told would he want to be indie security guys about just you know, be ready tonight. Until I guess Foley showed, when that Foley, Paul Heyman showed up, and still Stephanie started trying to make fat jokes about Paul Heyman and everything. But you know, they talk about the Goldberg face-to-face segment. Charlotte was in the back with Sasha Banks, which those promos were very scripted between both of them. Talk about the whatever at Hell in a Cell, you know, well, this isn't over. We're teammates tonight, but we're coming back for it. And some people say these tensions are so high between them, especially since they've been in a Hell in a Cell with each other. Why would they even be in the same room together? Brian Kendrick went against Sin Cara, which went very, very long, and people started to chant boring during this match. This match was damn 12 to 13 minutes. And Sin Cara, nobody cares, and I think people just wait for this match to end, because like, it got no reaction. This match barely got any type of reaction throughout this thing. Enzo and Cass were talking to the club in the back, calling names, you know, Mr. Evil and Professor X and stuff. Talking about the match this Sunday. And as we got ready for Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar, Brock Lesnar was out there, Goldberg was out there, which they turned the volume up really high so they can do those Goldberg chants. And Heyman tried to pretty much introduce himself, and Goldberg wanted to say, this isn't about you, it's about me and Brock. Alright, it's about me and Brock. And Paul pretty much said he's a great man in uniform, and you know, they're here for Goldberg's protection and stuff. As Paul Heyman, pretty much with Paul and Brock stood there, Paul pretty much talked about his family, which is really retarded now at this point, because Goldberg said to say one more thing about my family, and Paul said like 3 or 4 more things about his family and everything. And people continued to chant Goldberg, and Heyman told everybody to shut the hell up. And pretty much since he kept talking about his family, Goldberg pretty much beat up the security guys and threw them all over the place. Which, another thing that was funny, when Lesnar was getting ready to go in, someone had a Colt Cabana head behind him, and they kind of got rid of that shot. But Goldberg, some say he looked blown up last night, and I don't even think he's ready. Yes, he does look great for a man his age, but I do see this match being shit. Brock was going to be in the ring, but he got out, and I guess they did what they did with this segment, so at least they finally got the fans to boo at Brock Lesnar and cheer Goldberg. But pretty much Goldberg is in good shape, but I do see this match. Like I said, well, I see this match being shit. Yeah, I really do, in a way. And I'm sure people have said this before. One guy has not been in the ring in over 12 In over 12 years. Okay, now. Sorry, Goldberg has not been in the ring in over 12 years, and Brock, by the way, Goldberg is as rusty as ever out there. And Brock, who does not care who he goes against as long as he's getting paid. Because what do I see out of this match coming this Sunday? Pretty much like, what, 30 suplexes in an F5? Really? Because Brock Lesnar's matches has pretty much is the same formula nowadays. A whole bunch of suplexes and a F5 most likely. Or maybe a Kimura arm lock. It's just the same old stuff really with him. So I don't know what's going to go along this Sunday because I feel like the fans will turn on Goldberg. This is Canada, Toronto. Brock lives in Canada, so either A he's going to get cheered and pretty much Goldberg will get booed, or we're seeing WrestleMania 20 all over again, folks. Sasha Banks and Charlotte Williams, Nia Jackson, Alicia Fox. Barry is on commentary. Sasha and Charlotte won, but the bench said, Sasha and Charlotte were trying to beat the crap out of each other, but they did win the match. So, I don't know, and then Cole's funny with him, because he pretty much went on all night saying, like, he doesn't know the women can work together this Monday, but they're going to have to this Sunday if they want to win. I feel like he said that all night with every Survivor Series team, pretty much. Because the team better get along this Sunday if they want to survive. Enzo and Cass, the club, went against the Shining Stars and Golden Truth, which are already out of this match and begin with, and they pretty much the club, Enzo and Cass won. Club got the win. But this show is pretty much starting to drag on and drag. Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan came out as Stephanie and Nicole introduced them as they talked about the 900th episode of SmackDown the next night. So you guys on Raw and everything, as people chanting yes and stuff. But Stephanie introduced the Raw Survivor Series team, and Bryan and Shane said, "You didn't think we came here alone, did you?" Because Shane says he's the real leader. He's standing shoulder to shoulder with his team this Sunday for SmackDown. So he says, "You guys don't think we will come alone." So pretty much AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, James Ellsworth, Bray Wyatt, and Randy Orton came out there, and I would say this is probably really the best thing out of the night in a way. With pretty much all of them coming out together, and AJ says, Owens says, like, "Welcome to the Kevin Owens show." And AJ pretty much says, "I'm the real world champion. You have a paper champion," because he's the champ that runs the camp. And Kevin Owens pretty much, "Oh, you're stealing someone else's catchphrase and stuff." And that Jericho pretty much says, "Yeah, talk about, oh, you're friends with Jericho, huh?" AJ pretty much went on to say that Owens is pretty much stuck on Chris Jericho's sugar tip, which I'm surprised he got away with that. And, we were once friends too, and don't be surprised if he puts you on that list. And Owens here stood up for Jericho and gave him a hug and says, look at it. And Jericho pretty much says, "These are the big leagues, alright?" He says, "You want to know what we do to people like you, AJ, when you come to Raw? You just made the list. You want to know what we do with people with that stupid soccer mom haircut? You just made the list. What the hell is that?" Pretty much people start chanting Ellsworth in. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lost child here right by ringside. He's a weird-looking guy. Vince McMahon right there. You know what we do to weird-looking guys on Raw? You just made the list." As Bray Wyatt then took the mic and talked about Braun Strowman, says he gave you the keys to the kingdom. This is how you repay me. You abandoned your brothers. You abandoned me. Because it is Sunday, Braun. We're going to destroy the monster that I created. As Orton and Strowman pretty much stepped up against each other. And Ron said, Shane's a nice guy, but you're not a tough guy. Until, we got the big dog right here. We got the Universal Champion. And Ambrose pretty much was pacing around. Says, "You know what? and he pretty much punched Jericho, and then the Raw versus SmackDown teams pretty much brawled with each other. As Strowman was taking out everybody, Super Shane came in. As AJ and Ambrose pretty much started knocking Strowman. So the Super Shane McMahon, which still looks ridiculous, knocked Braun Strowman out of the ring, clotheslined him all the way out of there. And then he did a suicide dive on Rollins and Ambrose. Jericho knocked AJ off the ring. Orton hit RKO on Jericho. Reigns then came with a Superman punch. Wyatt was going to do a finisher, but Reigns hit him with another Superman punch. He was going to jump, but AJ Styles cut him off. He was about to hit the Styles Clash, but Seth came in with a pedigree, and they pretty much did their Shield power bomb and threw him out of the ring. And pretty much Raw reigning supreme, kind of avoiding the invasion thing. Even though the first part was funny, but it pretty much looked like SmackDown was the faces and Raw was the heel team, pretty much. The show was still really, really trash throughout some parts. I thought the only part that was really good was the ending, especially with the Jericho segments, which is the only thing keeping the show reliable right now. But mostly a lot of stuff was trash from the Cruiserweights. The other bad Cruiserweight match with Sin Cara and Brian Kendrick. Random, multiple, lots of tag team matches. And another thing that's odd, in the end, you think the brand champion would be standing on top with their show because he is the main champion. No. Roman Reigns, which they got to make look strong like usual, and Seth Rollins, just because he's Shield. The guys pretty much now make it that the Universal title is now bigger than the WWE title. I'm sorry, the US title is now bigger than the Universal title. They're the ones that stand tall, and they're not even the captains. And Kevin Owens just finally comes in and throws the WWE title on the ground like it's nothing. So it's really odd that it's almost like a crime that they make them look more important than the guy that is the main champion. Listen, Kevin Owens has played second banana throughout this whole thing now, ever since he's had this title. Pretty much Jericho is now a leader, and he's the sidekick. And now that the pretty much make Roman look better than him, but pretty much overshadowing him every chance he gets. So yeah, but once again, Raw continues to suck every single week like it does. Again, I'm sure SmackDown will be better because it is the 900th episode. We have the IC title match between Ziggler and Miz. The Undertaker will be returning, and Edge will be back for the cutting edge. But I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.